Hello everyone and welcome back to another video here on my YouTube channel. Today's video I'm here to give you 5 things which I believe we learned from the game yesterday, which was against QPR in the Cup. But before I do, please drop a like on today's video, comment below what you learned from the game, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and here are my 5 things which I believe we learned from the game. So number 1, 4-4-2 actually works for us. I feel like the balance between defence and attack was good against QPR. I've already spoken about how we need to be better in the final third, but the fact that we are getting opportunities, the fact that we are breaking through teams, and the fact that we are defending well at the same time, I think it's benefited using the 4-4-2 formation and the system which we apply with the 4-4-2 formation. I feel like everyone knows what their role and responsibilities are. I feel like we attack down both ends quite well. Of course, I don't think it'd be Nelson every single week on the right hand side if we were to play a 4-4-2 going forward, but I feel like we've got everything to really accommodate it. The 4-4-2 allows plenty of crosses to go into the box. We've got 2 massive target men in the box in Adebayo and Morris to cause problems. We also have good midfielders, one being more defensive and the other being more creative, so they can obviously have a good partnership in the middle. Defensively as well, we've got centre halves who are quite energetic, who can obviously do overlapping runs or underlapping runs if they really want to. Bell, I feel like we've got very good ball progressing centre halves, which is very important. And the likes of Bell and Reece Burke, especially in the QPR game, I thought formed a really good partnership. It was miles better than what Anderson and Tom Holmes was, because the QPR were breaking through them two far too easily, whereas with Burke and Bell, yeah, they played with each other a lot more. They have a better understanding, but them two together as a partnership in a 4-4-2 worked extremely well. So I think the 4-4-2 can work, especially with our group of players. Of course, that wasn't our strongest team that played against QPR, but with our strongest, I think it can really cause plenty of teams a lot of problems. Do I see us continuing with the 4-4-2? No, because I feel like with just Edwards, I just don't know with him. That Forest Green side, which was so successful, and the way we won promotion to the Premier League with the back 5, I just feel like we're going to go back to that, which I'm not really too happy about. But that's just my gut feeling. But at least we know the 4-4-2 is a good backup choice and a good option if the original formation doesn't work. Number 2, we also learnt that the fact that Ogbeni wasn't in the starting 11 or in the squad at all, that he has left the football club. It got confirmed today. He is now a Ipswich player. A fee reported of £8 million. I still think that is overvalued for him. I don't think he's worth anything more than 4 million. Don't get me wrong, I did like Chiyo. I thought his pace, his power, his attitude was absolutely fantastic. I thought his work rate off the ball was good, and also his defensive contributions was also very beneficial. However, I don't think his end product is amazing, and I also don't think he uses his pace as much as he should do. I think he's very cautious about getting countered on, and that prevents him from showing his true self. But I feel like his final product is something that does need to improve. Will it improve? I'm not too sure. That's up to him. He's 27 years old. There's still time to improve that. But if he does improve that, he could be a very dangerous player. And also, when your pace eventually leaves you, because it does go at some point, you know, you do get slower over time, you need to have a football brain, and that's where his weaknesses are. So he needs to know, right, okay, I've got this pace, but what can I do in my final third quality? Number 3, we learnt that, especially after the game in Edwards' interview, that players are unsettled. The transfer window is making players unsettled. I can understand that when you've got players like Chiyo leaving, who probably a lot of people thought wasn't going to leave, and then you're hearing rumours about other players potentially going. It can unsettle the group of players, but I feel like that's happening at every club, at majority of clubs. I know we're one of the clubs that got relegated. So a lot of other teams will be looking at our players going, actually, could we take him? Could he do a job for us obviously in a higher division? I can understand that, but we're not the only club to be going through this, so I feel like the excuse of unsettled players isn't a valid one, because we're not the only one going through it. Okay, someone like QPR, where not many of their players are wanted, okay, they may not be as unsettled, but you know, Burnley their team's been torn apart, but yet they still beat us 4-1 on the opening day of the season, yet their players still had interest. So I don't buy that excuse as much, but that's just my thoughts. Number 4, I thought we learnt that Nakamba, wow, what a performance. And I feel like we've missed him. His defensive contributions were absolutely amazing in the game against QPR. I thought the amount of interceptions he won, I thought how progressive he was with the ball. I forgot how good he was, if I'm being honest with you, because we haven't seen him in such a long time. I actually forgot how good Nakamba truly is. And his passing ranges was amazing. His high press, everything about Nakamba's performance against QPR was very good. Unfortunately, it's a shame that we couldn't get more out of him. But once we build him up, he's going to be a very crucial player for us throughout this whole season, especially if we are continuing to play this system, this more attacking system. Because he isn't the one that's going to be getting the goal contributions. He's going to be the one that's going to be doing the defensive side of things. We need him to protect the back line. We need him to do all that running for us, which I believe he will do extremely well. And if anything was to go by from the game yesterday, he's going to show us what he did when we had him on loan originally from Aston Villa. And the final point I want to mention is ZAK Nelson took his opportunity, didn't he, guys? We mentioned, well, Rob Edwards mentioned that at the start of the season, that him and Joe Johnson will be given opportunities throughout the year. ZAK's probably had more. Yeah, ZAK has had more opportunities so far. He's had a few sub appearances. He's also started in this game against QPR. And he's really proven that he deserves to be in the first team. You know, what a fantastic goal it was. But it wasn't just that. I thought his overall play as well. It feels like he's natural playing it in the Championship at the moment. Maybe he's just high on confidence right now because he's getting an opportunity. He can't really focus about what's happening with the other players. He needs to focus on his own game, because if these players go, that gives him an opportunity, that gives him a spot in the first team. So if he can keep this up, we could be seeing ZAK Nelson play at least over 20 times for Luton this year. Especially if he keeps putting in those types of performances, which he did against QPR. So I was very impressed with ZAK. Hopefully he can keep it up. Joe, he will get his time eventually. Unfortunately, our injured defenders have now come back slowly, so we need to prioritise them and build them up a little bit. But there will come a time where Joe will get minutes. If not, it may have to be a loan deal. So those are my overall thoughts on the game. I did want to talk about Joe Taylor, but I just don't want to. I don't want to be too negative. I want to be a bit more positive. I'm getting fed up of feeling too low. So we can talk about that another time. But yeah, those are my overall thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments on what was your overall assessment from the game against QPR. And I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be a match preview of the Luton Town versus QPR game yet again. So I'll see you guys then.